If you're skinny fat and you feel like you're training hard, but nothing's actually changing, then it's not all in your head. I used to look like this and remember thinking, why am I lifting, eating well, training hard, and still not building any muscle? And the truth is that most skinny fat guys aren't failing because of their diet, because of their genetics, or even because of their consistency. It's because you're missing one thing in your training, and the moment you fix it, you're going to start to look different shockingly fast. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what that missing piece is and how to fix it in your very next workout. So here's the part that stings a bit. If you're skinny fat, then you're definitely stopping your sets way too early and you're doing it without even realizing it. In a second, I'll show you the exact point in a set where muscle growth actually starts and why you've never reached that point before. But first, we need to address the mistake that I see a lot of skinny fat guys doing, and that's that they're trying to build muscle without actually training properly. You go to the gym, you do more sets, you spend more time training, and nothing changes. And that was me for an entire year. I was training for hours, I was adding more sets, I was adding more reps, I was doing more exercises, thinking more work equals more muscle. But my training had no intensity. I had no control over the reps I was doing. I wasn't putting in any real effort. I was just simply going through the motions. So when I bulked up, I gained a lot of weight because I went from 165 pounds to 210 pounds, but I didn't really put any more muscle on my frame. This meant that when I cut down, I looked exactly the same as before, but I was just a smaller version. So here's the truth that most skinny fat guys never hear. Your body doesn't build muscle because you're training more. It builds muscle because your training forces it to adapt. So without that stimulus, nothing happens, even though you think you're working really hard. I used to think that the reason I wasn't growing was because I wasn't doing enough. So at the start, I used to do 4x12 workouts. So I'd do 4 sets and then try and do 12 reps every single set. Then I changed to do 6 sets of 15 reps, thinking that if I added more reps, added more sets, it meant that it would completely change my physique. I was in the gym for about 2 to 3 hours, 7 days a week. But the problem was that my physique didn't change at all. So when I cut back down, I went straight back to looking skinny. I had no real shape, no definition, and ended up with no muscle on my frame. And this is when I finally realized that I wasn't training hard. I was just training for a long amount of time. So you don't build muscle by doing more. You build muscle by doing the right reps with the real amount of effort. I used to think the goal was simple, just train more. But the real goal is to train better. So you need accuracy, intensity, and progression. You want to think of this like playing Call of Duty against bots all day. Like you're going to feel like you're busy, you're going to feel like you're trying, but you're not actually getting any better. So when you go online, everyone just dominates you. And the reason for this is because nothing's actually challenging enough for you to get better. And it's the same thing in the gym. If you never push close to failure, if your reps aren't controlled, if you're not progressing, your body has no reason to grow. So here are the 3 rules that are going to change your training forever. Rule 1 is that reps near failure build more muscle. Rule 2 is that controlled reps beat sloppy, throwing the weight around ego lifting every single time. And rule 3 is that progression is adding a little bit of weight to each set that you do over the course of a few weeks, rather than just doing more sets, more reps, more volume. So once I trained properly, so that's slowing my reps down, pushing those final reps to failure, and actually progressing my lifts over a long period of time, that's when everything started to change. I stopped looking skinny fat, I finally built the muscle that I needed to look aesthetic, and I stopped wasting all my time and all my effort. So if you're watching this video and you're currently thinking, I have no idea if I'm trying hard enough, that's exactly what I can help you with in my Skinny Fat Fix program. And the waitlist is below if you're interested. So let's get into how to actually build muscle properly. This is a 3-rule system that you need to follow. And this is the exact same system that I use to go from skinny fat to lean and muscular. Rule 1 is intensity. Without intensity, your muscles are never going to grow. So you want to train close to failure to the point where you physically can't do another rep. And you'll know if you're doing this because your last 2 to 3 reps are going to be slow, shaky, and uncomfortable. You need to use a weight that you can control, and you need to push these final reps extremely hard. You want to avoid stopping when it burns or when it starts feeling heavy, because if you never get near failure, you're just wasting your time. Rule 2 is accuracy. Accurate reps double the effect of the intensity. You want to keep tension on the muscle for the entire set. You don't want to do any bouncing, you don't want to use momentum, and you want to avoid ego lifting at all costs. You want to keep controlled and stop rushing through your sets like a complete crazy man. Then rule 3 is overload. Your body grows because it's adapting, not because it's doing more. So your goal for every workout is very simple, and that's that you need to beat last week by any amount So that might be adding 1 rep, adding 1.25 kg or 2.5 kg. And to do this, you need to track every single lift that you do. You want to stop switching exercises and adding in random sets or doing random muscle groups on random days every single time you walk into the gym, because this is simply going to just destroy your progress. And that's literally it. Like I said, that's the system I used to finally escape skinny fat and build the muscle I needed to look aesthetic. It's the same system that helped Michael go from a 60 kg to 110 kg bench. And it's the exact same system that Noah used to gain 9 kg of muscle after years of feeling stuck. But here's the annoying part, and it's that you're going to still mess up if you stop here. Because even now you know how to build muscle properly, you can still fail to do so if you choose the wrong phase. Because if you bulk when you should have cut, you're just going to get fat. And if you cut when you should have been building muscle, then you're just going to end up more skinny fat again. That's why many skinny fat guys waste years. So you should watch this video next so you can avoid that exact mistake and finally get to the aesthetic physique that you're chasing.